everybody, and welcome to the Comic Book Burrito Extra Beef. My name is Darien,
My name's Landon.
and today we have a TV show review for you. Um, it's it's like a spin-off to The Boys,
Yeah, was
based.
there a comic series of this, by the
No,
way?
no,
There was
none
not.
of
So this is
these.
like a total
Mo
original thing.
Most of these characters are original as well, because
Okay.
they're kind of taking their own, going away from the comics. It's probably a good idea, if
Yeah.
I'm being honest. But yeah, you may notice that we are doing camera. You're like over here for me. Yeah.
I'm over it.
Uh,
Yeah,
yeah,
you're
I'm
like
like,
up there.
yeah. We're
Darien's
doing
in the back
camera.
cave. I'm in the podcast room.
Yeah,
So
wait.
Darien has the better layout than I do at the moment.
Bat Batman's right here. Is that the Riddler?
I have a calendar right
No, it's
here of
not.
Iron Man and a Spider-Man. Oh, hold up now. Hold up. I know this ain't the normal episode, but I got Peak right here.
Oh my God. Well, that's not what
Which
we're
is the
talking
which
about
is
today.
the thing. I'll talk about that on this upcoming episode this week. Or next week, I guess, as the time this comes out.
Yeah.
Because that experience.
Well, I had seen Gen V, which is the show we're reviewing. Back when it came out, I saw it twice. I did a little bit of, I did a weird rewatch with this. I kind of just watched bits and pieces that I didn't remember.
Yeah,
Um, but this was your first time seeing the show after seeing The Boys all the way through, like we watched.
yeah, yeah. I never. I honestly had no interest in it when it first came out. I was like, I'll just stick to the boys. I think originally I thought it was like June V is gonna be one of those shows that's like not important to watch, but kind of is
It's pretty,
now.
it's pretty important.
After I watch it and then finding out later they're gonna do the whole back and forth thing, I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, okay.
And you saw, I mean, not to get into like spoilers already, but you saw at the end how it kind of
Yeah, I definitely, yeah.
like I don't know
That
if
that's
like
really what nailed it. I'm like, oh crap, oh yeah, this
well
is
like
definitely
pat
important.
I guess pass the baton would be the term I'm
Yeah,
trying to use.
I got you.
Um, but we'll get into that. So yeah, let's talk about Gen V, starting with the first episode here. You can still see me, right? I moved my
Yeah, I
screen
can
a lot.
still see it. Yeah.
Okay. So episode one is called God You, directed by Nelson Craig. Let's see. Written by Eric Kripke. The first episode is, which is the guy who wrote The Boys. Okay. So, what were your thoughts, kind of, going into this first?
Again, this was I was kind of really looking forward to it because I was thinking, well, I knew it would be good because the same people who did the boys, I like the boys obviously, and
Trying to
I
think.
was just I don't know, I've never really been into like spin-offs that much. I was like, this is just like a waste of time. Why couldn't they work on this season? It's like, and honestly, it was like the same way with like if they did it like the same way with like Better Call Saul
Mhm.
and Breaking Bad. And I love Breaking Bad, but they did like Better Call Saul. I'm like, oh, I don't care about this. I want to stick with the main show right now. I'll check that out later. But yeah, watching the first episode,
I
I was immediately hooked. I was like, okay,
I'll tell
yeah,
you the way I see it. I see it as like this is something they give us in between the seasons to like hold us over.
hold us off.
And
Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
Um
I think that's the problem. I was just like, I don't want to hold us off. Just put all your work you did in this, put it towards the new season.
yeah. Yeah.
But
And this
hey,
isn't
I'm
even the
cool with
only
it because I
spinoff.
love the show. I
This
thought the
isn't
show was
even
great.
this isn't even the only spinoff because I think they're doing a show called The Boys Mexico, which has like
I ain't heard
we,
this.
we talked about that a while back. It's got a bunch of like it's got the writers from Blue Beetle doing it and stuff. I think, or director of Blue Beetle. Maybe, I can't
Yeah.
remember. But anyway, so yeah, episode one opens with a scene that it kind of just like throws you right into it with this daughter on her period.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But okay.
And she's the bloodbender. Her name's Marie. She's the main character, all that. Trying to like describe
You
this in
trying
a
to
way.
censor it of like censor the censor.
Yeah.
Um.
Um, Basically her mom comes in because she hears Marie like freaking out, and then when her mom walks in, the blood goes like straight through her neck, and it just kills her mom
Yeah.
immediately. That was a shocking moment.
Mhm.
Um, but then the dad comes in and freaks out trying to save the mom. The girl screams, blood explodes, stabs the guy all in the face, and then that's how the episode
That's the
opens.
it's like okay,
It's
all
like
right.
Jesus Christ. Um, so yeah, pretty on par with what I expected from this universe.
Oh yeah, sounds about right.
Um, sorry if I sound like a little awkward. I'm trying to like all this is weird to me.
It's pretty hard to talk about considering we're like a like I don't want to say family, but like we're everyone can watch the show, and you don't want to have like,
Well,
but
I'm
I,
saying like me personally, like in my setup right now, it's awkward because I have like all this
oh,
stuff,
an awkward, yeah.
microphone, camera, light, all this.
I'd rather have that setup than what I'm working with right now because you have like a glare and
Well,
like, and this is I'm so tall. Here, hold on. I wonder if I can. I ain't do much. I tried to lower my chair.
just
I ain't do much.
it went from here to here. That's all it did.
I guess it kind of helped, but not much. And I'm just like, I'm like the corner. I don't like it, but hey,
Yeah. But yeah, so that was 8 years before like the current day of the series. So they jump forward to it strained the okay. It says here strained the relationship of her younger sister Annabeth, which is kind of explored later on a little bit. Um but anyway, in the present, she is at a like children's like a orphanage type place for like kids with powers.
yeah,
I think it's called the Red River Institute, which I believe, if you remember in The Boys, when Huey and I think Starlight went to this place to adopt, like look for kids. I think they were don't know what they were doing, but they went there and there were a bunch of kids with superpowers, and they were like adopting a kid, but they weren't.
yeah.
Happened. That is the same place
That same place.
that
Okay,
she's
that's
at,
what I figured. I thought I was
and
like, I
if
want to see
you
what. With.
go back to that scene in The Boys, one of the kids that they look at on the computer is her.
Oh, really? Oh, I think I
Yes,
remember you telling me or showing me that.
same actress and everything. Which is cool. So,
So that just set
anyway,
up for a minute.
yeah. Um, anyway, she is there. She gets accepted into Godolphin University, which is funny. It's named after the Professor Godolphin, which is um Professor X in the boys' universe.
Yeah.
He's the leader of the G-Men. Um, I don't know. Every time I hear that name, I always think of the name that we almost came up with for. Do you remember
I don't remember. Was it like?
the C?
Oh, no. Oh yeah. Then
Oh,
we made like, let's not do that.
yeah, not a good idea. People will
Dude,
understand
that
that
was like
joke.
a thought. We had like, what about the C man? And they were like,
Nope,
oh yeah, yeah. That
nope,
can't work.
nope.
I
Um,
remember that.
Jesus. Okay. But yes, she gets accepted in there on her first day because she gets there. She meets her roommate Emma, who is Little Cricket, is what they call her. She can shrink. It's pretty tragic,
Mm.
kind of what her whole story is. There's also
Oh
a
yeah,
scene with her at one point where she has to she has to I don't know how to explain this. She sits
go on.
on she's no she like I don't know, okay. Anyway, moving on. This
What I
is
always get it reversed. She has to throw up to grow big or throw up to go small.
to go small. It's
To
just
go
to eat to get
small.
bigger. Yeah.
Okay.
Um, so it's just pretty sucky, honestly. But yeah, she meets Emma. Um, and she also meets Andre, who is which is later. You get to meet the whole like little group of people that's throughout the show.
Mm.
Andre is played by Chance Crawford, who passed away. We talked
Yeah.
about that on the show, which is crazy to me.
It is weird to. I always notice that with some shows of like going back and so it's like, dude, this guy like died like this recently, and it is very unfortunate because by the end it looked like they had like a lot of set up for him,
Yeah. And
and I so
he
I
was
wonder what they're
on
gonna do.
yeah, gosh, he was on Michael Rosenbaum's podcast and it was like right before he died and he was talking about how he's getting ready to start filming and he was training for it and he was getting all built like muscled up
Yeah,
stuff.
Bill. Yeah, for the role. Yeah.
Yeah. And he said they
I
were just getting ready
wonder.
to shoot and he died in a motorcycle accident.
Do you think they're going to do? You think they're going to still do the Gen V season two?
Yeah.
Oh well, not like no, they're not gonna do it
Well,
no more.
it's been delayed indefinitely, so they're probably going to recast. I'm guessing, or
Well,
write the character out.
I mean, not like they're not gonna do it, but like you think they're gonna do Boys season 4 and 5, then Gen V, or they're still
That's
gonna do
it's probably that's possible, but I think it'll probably still be just
the
like
back and forth.
four. It's season four and then
Mhm.
season two. But
Gotcha.
yeah, they meet him, Golden Boy, which is Luke, and the actor that plays Luke is Arnold Schwarzenegger's son
Yeah, yeah,
in
I
real life.
saw
Yeah.
that.
And you meet Jordan and Kate. Jordan is like this super has a superpower she can like change to like a man and a woman,
Yeah,
and that each one has a different power. It's kind of interesting.
it's like a Wonder Twins wrapped into one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, we meet. She wants to get accepted into crime fighting 101, all this stuff, and
Mhm.
then you meet Professor Brink, who is played by Clancy Brown, not Clancy Davis. I don't know his.
Quincy Davis.
I don't know who that is.
Oh, that's not his name.
Yeah, Clancy Brown, who when I saw he was in this show originally, I got pretty hyped, but then at the end of episode one, I was like, well,
Oh.
there
Hey,
goes
it was
my
cool,
hype.
I guess.
Yeah, so but we'll get to that in a second. They all go to a party at one point. The guy, Chance, not that's his real name. Andre was like messing with that little metal like bird thing he made and pressing that woman, and then he got bumped into while he was controlling it, and it like stabbed some other lady in the neck.
Mhm.
And so Marie went and stopped the bleeding, and she was a hero and all this stuff.
Mhm.
And she got a lot of popularity on social media, but she got expelled by Brink to protect the other heroes' reputations or whatever. They blamed it on her basically.
Yeah.
Um, she came back to Brink's office to confront him later and found that he had been killed by Luke. Luke literally hugged him and burned him to death. Because throughout this whole thing, Luke is like freaking out. He's seeing
Yeah.
these like kind of visions almost, and it also does tie into a scene earlier with the escaped patient
Yeah.
of the woods,
Mhm.
and which is pretty terrifying, honestly. That whole like just underneath the school, there's like this prison for children.
Oh yeah, it's like jail cell. Yeah, it's super crazy. It's like imagining that like it seems like out of pocket, but I wonder if that's like a real thing that's like happened before.
Oh God, I hope
I
not.
wonder if they're not like a. It's like they say like yes, kids in detention, but they're actually like in this cell like downstairs below the school or
Yeah.
something.
Anyway, she does that. She's Luke's. Luke kills him. Luke goes on a rampage trying to take her out because she saw it. And he's stopped by Jordan and Andre. It's a pretty crazy fight. This dude is like the number one hero. He's like ready to join the seven type stuff.
Yeah,
And he calms down. Andre gets him to calm down, and Luke whispers something to Andre before he like flies up in the air and I guess kills himself. This is what he does. I don't know how
yeah,
to like explain what he did. He kind of just like exploded.
yeah.
And that's where the first episode ends. I mean, I did probably miss a couple things, but that
No,
was
I
like the
mean yeah,
big
we
stuff.
definitely got all the major head hitters, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess that's what you call it. Yeah, it was very interesting.
Mm.
Uh, it leaves off. That's what I like about the boys and this show is every episode pretty much gets you hooked with one scene.
Yeah.
And obviously, this one was the beginning. It's like, what in the world? It's like, what is this? Like, what's happening here? And then you keep like knowing these characters, and then at the end, boom, he explodes, and it's like,
Yeah.
the hell happened?
There were a few cameos in the episode too. About with the I think A Train showed up at the beginning,
Yeah, A Train
and
shows up.
they did like a whole little montage showing the people that came from Godolkin, and they're like ranks as a superhero, and it was like
Yeah,
Queen Maeve number one, A Train number one, the Deep number six, and I was like, that's they had to do them like that, but they did. Um, so yeah, that was pretty interesting. Yeah, that was episode one though.
good though.
Pretty
Yeah.
good first episode.
Mhm.
What would you
I,
rate episode one out of 10?
Probably a solid 8.
That's
Like,
fair. I go with that.
I like I because it's a like it might seem low, maybe, but I like the intro is good, and plus it's the first episode too, and plus there's like later episodes I think are like nines and tens, just about. I don't know about 10. I don't know if an episode really gets a 10 for me, but I believe it
I
was
think
episode
I
3.
think one does get a 10 for me, and that might be the finale, but like a low
Yeah,
10.
but now I think that the finale in episode 3. I don't know why something about
There's
3. I really.
there's one scene in the finale that literally made my heart drop,
Mhm. I know
and
what
I
you're
think
talking.
you know when when
I know
he yeah.
exactly.
I was like,
Uh,
oh my god.
it's good. This one's a good 8. It's a good opening, good closure. It shows the characters off. Shows them off pretty good.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's hard giving a rating, but you can't really find anything to really complain about. But like, I, I guess there's a part that's disappointed we didn't see Clancy Brown more. Like
Yeah.
he was in it a good amount of this episode, but he dies at the end. I'm like, man, I want to see him. I want to see this character more a bit. Get more fleshed out. But hey, I'm okay with it. But I think a solid 8 is where I'd stay on it.
All right, yeah, I can agree with that. All right, episode 2, first day. Here we go. Vought covers up Luke and Brink's death, which that seems like the thing they're best at.
Yes.
While Marie is given sole credit for stopping Luke and becomes the first freshman to enter Godolkin's University's top 10 rankings. There's like a whole thing throughout it that she doesn't own a phone, so she doesn't know all
Mhm.
this stuff.
You should know
Um,
everything. Yeah.
yeah.
That's crazy. It still has like a ranking system. Like that'd be so
Yeah,
awful in real life.
yeah. She becomes acquainted with the dean of the university, Indira, Shetty, I think her last name was, and
Yeah.
she's a real um piece of work. And
Yeah.
yeah, and she offers her counsel. Emma befriends her classmate Justine, who learns the secret behind Emma's size shifting powers and publicly discloses the information on the internet, which was kind of awful.
Very awful.
Yeah. An angered Emma confronts Justine. Meanwhile, Andre and Kate launch an investigation into Luke's death and find a secret recording that reveals his younger brother Sam is being held in a hidden facility called the Woods, which is secretly run by Shetty. Andre breaks off to find information in Brink's office. After Maria learns Vought contacted Annabeth, who does not want anything to do with her, she withholds Jordan's involvement in Luke's suicide amidst a televised interview. Andre succeeds in locating the Woods, but is nearly caught by campus security before Kate intervenes. Kate is a telepath,
Yeah.
or I think she has to like touch you to like. She's like a mix
The
of Rogue and Jean Grey,
which is too OP.
a little bit,
If you think about both their
and it
powers
become
combined, it's like,
yeah,
man.
and it becomes a problem.
Mm.
The end of this episode though, when she stopped those two guards on the cell, and then they did the thing with the flashlight.
Mm.
Do you remember? Jesus,
Oh yeah, gotcha. I remember.
okay. I'm
Girl,
not.
you can't. They want to make sure this stuff is burned into your eyes and brain.
Yeah.
They want to make sure.
Um, Jesus, but yeah. So they find the woods and all that stuff. We meet Andre. I think in this episode we meet Andre's dad, who was what was his name? Polar something. Polar, not Polaroid. Polarity, I think.
Yeah, Polar. I
And
don't know why when you say Polar, I'm like Polar Express. Is that what
no,
it's like? Well, what's this
um,
guy's name? Yeah,
he
Polar.
has like the same metal power. Um, and so they do all that. Locate the woods. Obviously, Kate passes out because the whole like she like overdid herself. And that's really that episode. It really starts to set up the whole Woods thing.
Yeah,
A little bit of some relationship stuff going on. You start to notice that Andre and Kate are kind of like getting a little closer.
yeah. Now with ranking this one, that you think it's somewhat of a. It's not really a filler, but more of a
Setup episode.
setup. Yeah, yeah.
Like, oh,
Is there
we
ever a
introduce you.
specific name
We
for them?
introduce you. I don't know. I know. So it's like we introduce you to these characters in episode 1. Episode 2 will introduce you to what the story is going to be, and then can
Yeah,
start it in episode 3.
yeah. 3. That's 3 and 4. Where that's when the story really takes off. Off. I love good. I mean, good episode, but again, it felt like just a setup episode. I guess you could put that in the same category with filler. Just about this one for me. I don't mean to get ahead of the rankings here. Just around a 7,
Yeah,
7.5.
I was thinking
It's
7.
okay.
I
pretty
was
good.
Yeah, I was thinking 7. Um, Decent episode. Yeah. All right. Episode 3.
This one I love.
Hashtag ThinkBrink. You didn't like? Did you like the episode with your favorite character in it?
Of
Yeah.
course I did.
That's
What
not
not?
this one, is it? That's next episode. Yeah. Okay. So episode 3. 3 years prior, so like a flashback, Luke and Kate visit Sam, who's enraged to learn that their powers came from Compound V and killed a security guard. Before Luke and Kate calm him down. In the present, Andre and Kate discuss their discovery, during which she convinces him not to risk his own life, and they have sex. It's a little weird that
It's, yeah.
that your best friend died, and then and like you know, it's a
I have to ask
little.
my girlfriend about this. Be like, is this okay? 'Cause I'm thinking,
You'd be like, no. Um,
like, so the hell are you
did
talking about?
you did you get the impression that Andre had a little bit more of
Yes,
some feelings towards Luke?
yes,
Yeah,
yes. I
I
felt that.
got
I was like,
yeah. He was like, I love you, man, but it could have been like a friend thing, but also like it
that's
felt
like a that. It's so strong. It was like a Morphin Wolverine type dude. That's how
yeah.
strong that thing.
That's a good comparison.
All
But
right.
yeah, they do the deed. Meanwhile, Marie returns to her dorm to find a fatigued Emma. She attempts to counsel Emma, but they have an argument. The next day, Shetty invites Marie to a fundraiser gala being held in Brink's honor. Emma's mother attempts to talk her into doing a reality show, but she refuses. Emma later meets with Marie to reconcile. Andre convinces Emma to infiltrate the woods for him. She successfully finds and speaks with Sam, but the security guards put the facility on alert and incapacitate him while Emma uses her powers to hide. Um, that's when she went in the guy's ear, right?
Yes.
You. I
Yeah.
was
Very nasty.
like,
What is with this show and shrinking and making it the most nastiest thing on the planet?
that's what everyone was asking whenever this episode happened.
You know, like
But
it's so gross. Like you're going in, like I can't even say. Like you're going in ears, penises. Like you're going in everything. It's super nasty.
yeah,
And I remember I was the for Ant-Man going inside Thanos and just expanding. I was all for that, but the boys made me regret one.
yeah, this yeah.
Jim V made me regret wanting that.
And Season Boys season 4 apparently has something that's 10 times worse than whatever they've done before. So
And I'm just like, how? Tell me what episode, I'll see it and I'll judge it for myself. Because there's no way.
yeah, I don't know.
There's no way.
Um, but
You
yeah, so that
yummy
was that
brown
episode.
bear. Like
That was that
Christ.
episode. I'll go say this is my least favorite out of the three,
Yeah.
personally, but it did start moving the story along, which was good.
I think that's why something about this, I don't know what it was. It was very weird in the beginning. Like, it's weird because it's like I really love this one, but like it's so weird. Do you ever just love something, but you always have that one part you don't like a Sly Cooper mission or something?
If you watch my last stream, yeah,
Is that it? Was that the
I lo
part?
I love Sly too, but I hate the Contessa's everything about her place.
Yeah, I was in the middle of playing Sly 2 the other day, and there's one part where I had to beat Bentley and suck up the like the souls or something with a backpack. Is that the part you're talking about?
No,
Okay, that's the part I
it's the thing I hate is all of like when you meet the Contessa, the Spider Lady, and you're at like the castle and all creepy stuff. I hate all of that. Both of the chapters with that, I hate it. They suck.
yeah.
It's
I
so
just
boring to me.
you know everybody has that part in like a game or a movie. It's like this part I wish they just cut it. I'm gonna download this part, cut it out, and I'm gonna this will
Yeah.
be my favorite. That beginning part of this episode, like I could feel the emotion, but it was kind of weird. I was like, what the wrong? But after the fact,
Was this the episode where you find out there's a moth flying around? An episode where you find out that Kate was using her powers
I
uh
I
on
believe
Luke.
so. Yeah, yes, I believe
Yeah,
so.
and like uses it to like make him forget about his brother or something like that. It's
Yeah,
pretty
that
dark.
something about that kind of hit, and I'm like, dang, that's crazy. You know, and I think that's why I liked it.
To
It's
like
very
protect
emotional.
him, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, dang, it kind of made me question. I was like, man, would I do that? You know, I don't know. I think that's a lot of it. Why I liked it.
Yeah.
This one is I just sincerely, I don't know if you're, I don't know if you're gonna agree with me on this, but I mean, I think it's like an 8.5.
Yeah, I gotta
I really
disagree.
liked it. I know it's a
Um,
bit probably too high for you, but I like really enjoyed it for some reason.
I, th-
Four though.
you know
We'll
what?
get to that.
I give it a 7.
7. All right. All right.
Um, I'll probably give it a 7. Yeah. All right. We have 8 minutes left in the meeting. I think we have time to talk about episode 4. Speaking of things going in holes, we're gonna talk. We're gonna talk about episode 4, the whole truth.
Doctor, I
Um,
can't stop loving
there,
this character.
this moth just landed on my camera. Okay. Um, so yeah, Sam recovers, slaughters the guards and escapes with Emma. They hide out in an abandoned drive-through, and Sam suffers from delusions. This this is where you find out that he is really messed up because he sees puppets. It's pretty weird. Are you good?
No, I'm laughing because I'm just thinking about the goat.
Okay. He says he wants to kill Dr. Cardoza, which is a psychologist who worked with him. Emma returns to the university to warn the others. Meanwhile, Marie tries to ask psychic student Rufus to help find Emma, only to black out and wake up in his bedroom. When Jordan intervenes, Marie detonates Rufus's penis. Okay. So I watched part of this episode with you. I don't know if you remember
Yes,
this. Yeah.
I remember.
And I remember we saw that, and I was very uncomfortable.
I know. It's like sitting next to me. It's like, oh Christ.
It was like,
I,
ow. I think I stood up. I mean, I had to,
I was
but
just like, you know
that
what I'm
was
saying?
awful.
It's
Yeah,
like, I felt
that
that.
was rough.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, Jordan came in and helped. Concurrently, celebrity soup Robert Vernon, aka Tech Knight, comes to Godolphin University to record an episode of his Vault Plus series, The Whole Truth, and secretly frames an innocent student for Luke's suicide on Vault's behalf. I like they make Tech Knight like the celebrity, like
Yeah.
because everyone was wanting him to be in the show, and I guarantee he'll be back in The Boys season 4. I think that's
I
the
think it's gonna be
rumor.
like a. I think it's
Apparently,
gonna be
he's
like a
supposed to be some kind
big.
of antagonist force.
I'm.
We're teaming up with Homelander.
I like how they don't fully reveal it. I like if you know who the character is and what he does,
They have the nod. The whole
the
truth.
whole truth, and you just know in the back of your head, like
Oh my God.
Christ
Yeah.
Almighty.
Um, it's yeah. While using his observation powers to aggressively interrogate students, he forces Marie to reveal Jordan's involvement in Luke's suicide. Upon learning Sam escaped the woods on her watch, Vernon, or Tech Knight, intends to frame Shetty, but she threatens to expose his unnatural sexual urges. My man cannot keep it in his.
It's because of he has a tumor.
Yeah,
Is that correct? Okay, I was pretty sure I remembered right. Hey, dude,
yeah,
he
he's got
just
a
he
tumor, and so he just has the need to do that.
literally. I was really. I hope that's
What?
his like intro in season 4 with him at the psychologist.
Oh, doctor,
I was looking forward to that scene being recreated.
that's
That
gonna
I think
happen.
I
That's
think
gotta
it's like the
happen.
funniest scene ever. It wasn't the cat, was it?
Oh my God.
It's so
Um,
it's not. I'm not even into that humor, but I think it's like the funniest thing on the planet.
it's what all did he mess with in this episode?
He doesn't. So from what I remember,
There's like a donut.
it's a donut, and it doesn't he do like a skull, like a head
Yeah,
buzz skull.
it was like an actual skull. Yeah. Um,
Yeah,
a traffic cone.
yeah. Traffic cone,
Um,
a hole in a tree.
that was
Is that
funny
right?
when he
Or like a
was
stump?
yeah. That was when he was ending the like his episode or whatever, and he was like, next time on the whole truth, he was like, "Can you give me 5 minutes?" And he just like walks over to the tree,
He walks over to the woods.
and that's all you see. And then it was also a hand dryer, which was the I think final scene of the episode.
That's the file. Yeah.
Um,
What a way to end it.
yeah, well, this is the that happens right after like the craziest moment, which is that Marie, Emma, Andre, Jordan, and Kate find Sam. They stop him, and then which when we find out that Emma can grow big,
Yeah.
and they stop him, and all of a sudden the screen like starts flickering. It cuts off, and then it cuts to Marie waking up in a bed with Jordan, and the episode ends.
Yeah.
And I know everyone when this came out, they were like, "What just happened? Was this a glitch? Was this like an issue with Prime Video?" And
Yeah.
it was like it's part of the story, which we find out in the next episode. But yeah, that was episode 4. My second favorite episode, probably.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's a really good one. This one,
it was funny. If Tech Knight
it,
wasn't in it, it would have been a lot worse. But
yeah, no, yeah. Tech Nine one, literally anything with Tech Nine in it, it's automatically like above 8.
and we haven't even met Ladio yet.
dude, dude, oh my god, poor freaking poor Ladia, man.
Yeah.
Dude,
Um,
and that guy, I can't get over it when he does the stretches and it zooms in on Tech Nine's face. He's like, oh god,
yeah.
he
Okay.
tells her he has to leave. It's so
Jeez.
terrible.
What would you
Like
rate episode 4?
it's got to be a 9.
Yeah.
It's
Well, yeah, I'd go with a 9.
awful. It's funny.
It's rough. We have 2 minutes in this meeting, and then we can get on to episode 5. So we're gonna call it because you know what? Zoom hates us, and
Are we
I
on
have a
this?
bone to pick with him. Yeah, but this is not. We'll do normal episode. We'll be back in the room, which is where he's at,
I'll tell you a real bone I got to pick on this upcoming week's episode, and I think you got a bone to pick too.
and it rhymes with Sack Snyder.
Zack Spider.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
like
tried
the
to
third.
say I tried to say Sack Snyder, but like replace like the S in front of like instead of Z and the
Oh,
Z,
you
so,
replaced it.
but it still sounded like Zack.
It still sounds like Zack Snyder. I was just like, it rhymes with Zack Snyder. I'm like, who?
Zack
What?
Snyder. It didn't
Zack
work.
Snyder.
It didn't work. But yeah, we'll talk about that. But we'll be right back. Yeah, stay tuned. All right, let's talk episode 5. Welcome to the Monster Club is what it's called. Marie and her friends awaken to find themselves at a party with no memory of how they got there. That's where I don't know if you've seen me retweet this many times. It's the guy saying it's Saturday, and it's like, yeah, he says it in this episode when they're like trying to figure out what day it is. He was like, "It's Saturday." Like, I had to bleep that, but I've
Yeah.
retweeted that. There's an account that posts that every Saturday, and
Is
I
it
retweet.
really? I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
and I retweet it as much as I can every time I see it.
I only go on Twitter when I'm at work. Don't you understand?
Oh my god,
That's
I'm
supposed
on.
to be work. I'm like, I'm on Twitter.
Jeez. Um, but yeah, they have no memory. While evading capture, Sam finds Emma and Marie, but they don't recognize him. Cardoza meets with Shetty to discuss his creation of a virus meant to control powers and his desire to use it on Marie, but she refuses to involve her. This is our first little introduction of this virus, the soup
Yeah,
virus,
super
um,
fire.
which is interesting. And this is obviously going to play a much bigger role in the
She's
overall
more.
story. Yeah,
Yeah.
because that's set up when what's her name, Victoria Newman, who was from The Boys, shows up in this. She's running for vice president or whatever, and that was like the end of season 3. They were like, we need to kill her because now she's vice president. She's the one that can like look at you and your head blows up.
Yeah, very
Um,
sexy.
but now she's got skipping ahead a little bit. This is like another episode, but she's got the virus. Towards when the show ends, which is a problem. Um, but yeah, Kate claims Rufus is responsible for their amnesia and leads Jordan, Andre, and Marie in confronting him. But lose track of him while Andre faints. Let me point out something. Um, Rufus, the kid who got his thing blown up in the
Yeah,
last, yeah, he's also from Supernatural, and he was in the last 6 seasons, I think, of that,
yeah.
and he was like a big character. He also turned into God at the end of the show. Is the whole thing. This guy, Eric Kripke, loves to hire people from Supernatural. It's crazy.
You're just
All
waiting for the
cast.
other big guy from
Literally,
Supernatural to come in.
literally Jeffrey Dean Morgan is going to be in the season 4 of The Boys, and he's
Yeah,
the main character's dad.
yeah,
And they already have the dude running for president in the universe is one of the characters from the show. It's crazy.
yeah. We're waiting for the other big supernatural guy.
Yeah, the other brother, and then they'll have basically the whole cast, which is
Yeah.
kind of insane. Um. Anyway, let's see here. Emma realizes she and Marie already know Sam, but were forced to forget him. While seeking him out, Marie removes a tracking device from her neck and tells Kate her suspicion that Shetty and Rufus are responsible for their amnesia. Kate apologizes and forces Marie to change the subject. Realizing Marie forgot a recent conversation they had, Jordan goes to reconfront Rufus. Emma finds Sam, who reveals Kate is the culprit after learning she used her tactile mind control power to make Luke forget Sam's existence. There's that. I guess we were a little early with talking about that.
Yeah.
Um, Emma calls Marie to tell her and Jordan the truth. Andre almost kills Rufus when a tearful Kate arrives to reveal her deception and restore his memories. And that was pretty, but that was kind of a crazy scene when she like restores memories. You see the one tear, just like
Oh yeah.
yeah. So that's basically like she's turned against them a little bit. Well, not really. She's still on their side, but she did something that was really messed up.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Yeah. And that was episode 5. Welcome to the
Not bad.
Monster Club.
It,
Um,
this one might be like my least
next
favorite.
next episode is another one of my favorites, which is
Yeah.
when they go into Kate's mind.
Yeah, that's a great one. That is a good one.
Um,
But
but yeah. What would
this
you
one,
rate episode
I
5?
thought this one was okay. Same way I feel with two. Around a 7,
I always want to say 6.5.
3.5. You
If
know
that's
what?
fair.
You know what? Now I'll say 6. That's what I'm
There you
going
go.
with.
Copying
you
me. That's
you
what it is.
you really convinced me.
You're copying me.
You said your number. I'm like, man, no, yes, that was my goal today. To copy you on one number.
Um, yeah. There you go. 6.5 for that. Episode 6 is titled Jumanji. There's the reasoning behind this title is pretty funny. When she was like, she went up to Rufus and she was like, I want you to go over there, find a baseball bat, and I want you to hit yourself as hard as you can in the nuts. And each time you do it, I want you to yell Jumanji. And then I cut back to it later in the episode. He's like doing it and he says, Jumanji. It's like,
Jumanji.
oh my God. Yeah. So after restoring everyone's memories, Kate experiences a seizure and unknowingly traps Marie, Jordan, and Andre with her mind. In this, they're trapped in this like a beverage has been delivered.
I know. I just got a
It's
smoothie.
strawberry milk. Oh,
Strawberry smoothie on my Red's apple ale.
oh my gosh.
Not sponsored.
Oh Jesus. But so they're in this like forest and they're sitting there looking at something. I think they saw something. It was no, it was Kate as a little girl and Shetty meeting her and all that stuff. They were like seeing that happen.
Yeah.
And then you hear a voice behind them scream, "Hey!" And immediately, because I've seen Supernatural and I recognize that hey. I was like, I know that voice. And they turn around and Soldier Boy walks up. That was a pretty big they they
Reveal.
already they announced before that episode came out that he was gonna be in it with like a big um reveal thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's pretty cool to have him come in. It's everyone's favorite character in the show, and so I mean,
He's so
makes sense.
hilarious and so like such an
He
awful
his
person.
whole like thing in this was that he taught her how to do a bunch of sexual activities.
Yes, it's terrible.
Um, then he gets struck by lightning and dies, like just like that. But yeah, she was her imaginary friend, and he warns them to escape before she enters a vegetative state. While exploring Kate's memories, Luke exposes Andre for making Kate cheat on him while he was alive. As the group flee, they enter one of Jordan's memories, wherein they saved Brink from an enraged Luke and earned a job as his teaching assistant. Upon seeing a memory of the of Luke's family being experimented on in the woods, or Luke and his brother, I guess. Kate forcing Luke to forget what happened. The group enter Marie's memory of her parents' death, during which Annabeth accused her of willfully killing them. Eventually, they confront Kate and convince her to take responsibility for her actions, causing them to awaken. Arrives to confront Kate, but Emma talks him down and reveals Shetty used him to augment Luke's powers and is experimenting on other children. Meanwhile, Cardosa tests his virus on an electrokinetic girl named Betsy, which causes her to grow sick and weakens her powers before killing her. Initially shocked, Shetty orders him to make the virus contagious. That's crazy.
It's very crazy.
Basically an airborne virus that it was pretty disgusting the way it made you all like
What it does, yeah,
real high. Yeah.
it's pretty
Yeah.
gross.
Yeah. Oh man. But yeah, I mean that was episode what, 6? It
Yeah,
was a good
very,
one. I like the whole like
very.
memory
No, another one of those episodes that fills out plot a bit,
character
but what
growth.
it does, or ones that gives you synced in more to the characters. But with what you explore here, it's really good.
Mhm.
It's like it's high up there for me. Excuse me, for
One
me as well.
one thing I will give this universe, the whole boys universe so far, it could go completely wrong, who knows. But
Season 4.
yeah. But they seem to know how to do a good superhero story without making it a superhero story.
Yeah,
Like
I agree.
I sometimes forget that this is even like a comic book thing. I'm just like into it.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah, you
but
think
then
it's
I'm
just
like, oh
like a
yeah,
show like that? Well, I'd say that the shows are so different from the comics, just about.
good.
Yeah,
Jesus.
yeah, yeah, good. I know. It literally feels like it's just a show that took these characters from the comic book, took
It made it
some,
better.
like took the main key elements
Yeah.
and just, you know,
And there's a rumor going around right now, and I don't know how. I think this was from a leak. That Prime Video is working on a comic accurate The Boys series, but I don't know if it's animated, live action, or what it is. It sounds
really
weird, and I don't know if it's true.
it,
Because I don't.
interesting.
I'm like, why would you do that? It doesn't
Yeah.
seem like.
Yeah, the
Um,
comics like not even really that good.
unless it's like an animated version of the comics, in which case
I feel
maybe.
like it's gonna be animated. And,
Yeah.
and
But they
I
already
wouldn't
do
be
have
surprised
that animated show.
I wouldn't be surprised if they, oh yeah, Diabolical. I
Yeah.
forgot
Which
about
is like
that.
an anthology thing, but is what it is. It's nothing like it.
What,
I don't think it's canon.
what I think they'll do is they'll make it animated and have all the characters look like they're comic, and then have the actors voice them.
Maybe. Well, there's some characters in the comics from the seven, part of the seven that aren't in the seven in the show. There's
Hmm.
oh gosh, he's like Martian Manhunter.
Oh,
I
I know
cannot
who you're
remember his
talking
name.
about. I can't remember his name.
I don't know. No.
And the Deep looks like really different. He doesn't even look like that.
Yeah, he's got like a scuba suit.
Yeah, he has like the the
And Queen
guy
Maeve
from
is
the
a blonde.
SpongeBob movie.
And Queen Maeve is a blonde alcoholic, which I guess
Yeah,
is
and
just the only difference is
Homelander is the
blonde.
guy that kind of hits on, or not even hits on, just does terrible things with Starlight. Right.
Jesus. Yeah. Um, but yeah, episode 6 though, I really enjoyed it. For the most part, it was a good episode. I'd probably give it, I'll probably give it 8. I think an 8.
Hey, yeah, I agree. Hey,
All right, moving on to the penultimate episode, episode 7, Sick. The introduction of Victoria Newman. She shows up. Marie and Jordan break into Shetty's office in this to gather evidence, and they bring it to Newman, who came to Godolkin for a town hall meeting. Everyone's hating on her, yelling out all the stuff
yeah,
with her being there because well, she's advocating for like soups and stuff like that.
yeah.
And well, no, she's against them. Sorry, I can't remember, but they learn that Shetty's family was killed in a plane crash caused by Homelander. That was kind of crazy because that was the plane that they saved
They
when
said
he
yes.
when they just kind of just left. That her
I
family was on the plane.
attempted to say yes.
Yeah, and then her family was on that plane, and so that's why she is trying to kill all these soups.
Yeah,
But her main goal is to kill Homelander, which I mean I
mm.
feel like that's everyone's main goal.
That's everyone's main goal at this point.
Um, so yeah, a
Sorry, I keep drinking
drunken.
this. It's like absolutely delicious. Sorry, I keep drinking it.
It's fine.
It's
A
so good.
drunken Cardosa enters Shetty's office and rambles about his virus, unaware that Marie and Jordan hid underneath Shetty's desk. I think he pees in her like alcohol container.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yep.
Sounds like a Snyder fan if you ask me.
But they're hiding in there. Shetty goes and meets with Colonel Grace Mallory, who was from the boys back last season. The older lady who was taking care of Ryan. Um, and they ask for help in spreading the virus globally to kill all soups. But Mallory refuses and secretly orders someone to observe Shetty. Mallory also mentions Butcher, I think. She says that Shetty's acting a little bit like Butcher.
Yeah, does mention
Um,
that.
yeah. After Andre's father, Polarity, suffers a seizure, that was insane. What the like,
Yeah,
um, the what's it called? The ambulance ride when like the
yeah,
whole thing was like like closing in
yeah,
and
yes,
he was like
yes.
trying to push it out. Oh, that was so
It,
good.
it reminded me a lot of. Have you seen Logan?
Yeah.
Yeah, Professor X has like his seizures or
Mhm.
whatever, or yeah,
Mhm.
it exactly reminded me of that a bit.
Yeah, and like I just thought it was so cool. Like he was having that seizure, and the ambulance was like crunching in because they had the metal powers, but his son
Yeah,
was in there, so he was like trying to hold it.
trying to
It was
push
so
it
cool.
out. Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Um. So that happens. His dad's pretty sick. Amidst a meeting, that's happening in the town hall for the town hall meeting, student protesters incite a riot and create the Soup's Lives Matter movement. While evacuating, Newman meets Marie and discovers that they share similar powers and upbringings. That was a crazy reveal as
Hmm.
well, that she's got the same powers
Yes.
as Newman, like the whole blood thing. Which I'm like, I guess that makes sense. I mean, she blows the blood up in their head, and that's how their head explodes.
Hmm.
Um, that was a pretty cool thing. So that makes me think that Marie is going to be the key to stopping her eventually.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
With the
Um,
blood, yeah,
yeah,
makes sense. I mean, her them revealing that shows that's the way they can take her out.
yeah. Marie tries to convince Newman to expose the woods, but Newman convinces her to pursue a position of power with political or cultural influence instead. Kate kills Shetty after forcing her to reveal the truth behind the woods and its creator, Thomas Godolkin, and her motivation for creating the virus. Cardosa meets with Newman to give her a virus sample before she kills him to prevent his knowledge from spreading. Yeah, Shetty dies. They slit
Yes.
her. I think she makes her slit her own throat. Marie
Yeah.
wants to help, but Kate tells her no, like makes her she can't do it basically.
I know. Yeah.
And so she sits there has to watch. And then so Kate is the bad guy now, and then
Mm.
Sam, Luke's brother, lies on her side now. And
Yeah.
so
It's
like
weird.
and so they're like two mentally unstable people who are now like basically running the campus.
Yeah. It's weird. It's crazy.
And like I said, Cardosa gave Newman the virus. She kills him. And that's the last we see of her. That sets up probably what's to come in season 4, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
Um, yeah, and that is the end of episode 7. Honestly, that was another really good episode.
No, they're good. I'm actually with us talking about what it's going to end up for. I'm excited to watch season 4 of The Boys, and then come back to this and like
Yeah, and see
rewatch
what
it
was all
again
set up. Yeah,
and see what was set up in there. Because I mean, you would never know back in season is it 3 or 2 when they go to that orphanage
I want to say it was
and see that one
2.
girl in that. You
Yeah,
see the girl on the camera or the. And it's like, well, they set that up. Now, what's I
what
like to
else
see
did they
what.
set up? Yeah,
Yes, I mean,
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
like
it's really
MCU
interesting.
level stuff. It's like,
Yeah,
holy crap!
I'd give this episode though. We have an 8.5. I
April month.
think it was good.
Uh, I'll give it that. I'll give it that.
I think it was good. Moving on to my favorite episode, the finale, episode 8, titled Guardians of Godolkin. This episode was absolutely insane.
Insane.
Um,
Yes.
Basically a all-out chaos on campus.
Yes.
Yeah. Vought Ashley Barrett shows up, so Ashley from The Boys, everyone knows that. Um, she meets with people on how to spend Luke's suicide. And they were naming off people. There's one character that I didn't touch on throughout this, which was the RA of the dorm hall, the invisible guy, who does show up later in this episode. That's Translucent's son.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, which is interesting. They mentioned that once, I think. Yeah,
They
he's
do,
trans.
don't they? I forgot
Yeah,
all about that. I literally watched it while I was at work, but I
yeah,
didn't
he's
have
the
to
son
pause.
of
I did.
Translucent.
You know what? I think I missed that part due to. I think there was one part I had to like get up from my desk and go grab something, and I noticed
Mhm.
the episode was playing. I was like, "Crap!" So I had to like rewind it a bit. And out there, got. I think went over that part.
Gotcha. Yeah, so that he's the his son, but I don't know if he's dead or not. I can't remember if they killed him. I don't think they did.
No, no, they don't.
But yeah, so that happens. Kate and Sam return to the woods and they free all of the captives before leading them and killing all the non-soups across campus, which is insane. Marie, Jordan, and Emma attempt to contain the chaos. Marie demonstrates increased mastery of her powers. Sam suffers hallucinations of Luke, who tells him to stop and reveals how he died, but Sam ignores him and allows Kate to destroy his ability to feel emotions. That was crazy.
Oh yeah,
He's like, he just doesn't feel anything now. Um, so yeah, these two are a problem, and they continue to be a problem. Andre learns that Polarity's seizure was the result of of brain damage caused by his powers, before receiving the Polarity mantle to help fight the rampaging Supes. Kate tries to brainwash Jordan. Yeah, so there's this whole fight going on. Literally everyone's fighting.
yeah,
At one point, Ashley cuts on this like speaker thing, and like it's trying to like hurt all of their ears, and it's because they have like increased hearing or something. They're susceptible to that because of their powers, like everyone. And eventually that gets broken. Pretty sure there's a scene with in the acting class that Emma was in where she meets with Sam and they argue, and it was a really that was a really good back and forth.
yeah,
Um, yeah, the director guy who was in The Boys, he's the acting teacher, the
yeah,
guy with the glasses. Um,
yeah,
they mention, I think in season three, him and Ashley did a thing in a bathroom stall. Um,
yeah.
and they mentioned that again a little bit in this.
Key points
But
here. Key
yeah,
point.
A- Ashley is freaking out. She's like, all this stuff's going on. This is a problem. Call Homelander. And that they don't mention anything else about that. They go back to all the stuff. Jordan is there with Marie, um, and Kate goes up to Jordan and goes to touch her, or him. I don't remember which one it was. And then Marie detonates her arm, blows her arm off, which was crazy.
Very great.
And
I was like, oh my god, yeah.
yeah, and she was sitting there screaming all this stuff, and we were like, "Oh, we did it!" And all of a sudden, you hear the sound barrier break, and you hear this like heroic music turn into like very creepy, unsettling music as Homelander like throws down, and I'm like,
What was I gonna
"Oh my
say? Yeah.
God!"
You're like,
That
well,
was
hell
seeing
just
that, I
arrived.
was like, "Oh God."
Oh
And you were thinking, you thought something would happen. He'd like fix something, but
yeah.
he goes up to Marie. Marie tries to say something, and he like says no, and then he says, "Do you?" He says, "What kind of animal are you? Do you enjoy attacking your own kind?" And they were like, "What?" And then he tells everyone to stand back, and he uses his lasers. Scene cuts. Um, shows the news, and they're being Vought is framing Sam and Kate's attack as the gosh, what I'm trying to say, the other group, the actual heroes. They're framing
Yeah.
them that they're the villains, and that
Yeah.
Sam and Kate are the hailed as the guardians of Godolkin, and that they're like big heroes now.
Yeah. They're
Um,
considered like legends. Yes.
yeah. And Marie, Jordan, Emma, and Andre wake up in a sealed hospital room in an unknown location. There's no door, no window, no nothing. Um, so they're just trapped somewhere. And then that's where the episode ends. There's a
That's it.
post-credit scene, which I don't know if you watched.
I forgot. Even though you
Oh my
told me
God.
like 4 times.
It's good. God, it sets up season four. I might want to like pause the meeting and like you go watch that real quick.
Let me go watch it real quick. And you want to? Wait, you can just say it, and I'll just be like, oh, okay.
Okay, well, we'll do that. Here we go. The post-credit scene, it shows the woods. I'll describe it in detail. Here we go. Shows
Okay.
the woods,
I get comfortable in the mood here. All right.
dark hallway. You see the trees on the wall. There's a figure at the end of the hallway with a flashlight, and they're shining it around, and it's following them. You don't really see much. You just see the flashlight
Alan
going
Wayne.
through. And, yeah, and he turns
Yep.
around and he was like, "My mother gave me a magic clicker," and no, and so they walk into this one room, and the flashlight's like blinding the camera, and they lower it, and it was Butcher, and he says,
Giant bug.
no,
Just
he
into,
said, oh gosh, what did he say? He says a very Butcher line. Um,
so a very butcher line.
I
Yeah.
can't remember what he said. Hang on, I gotta look this up.
No, we're gonna look it up regardless.
I gotta remember what this dude said. Um, Yeah, okay. So he says, here, I'm gonna find it in a second. Where'd you
You
go?
know, find it. Once he just says
He
something like that, he'll be
says,
like, no.
yeah, okay. He sees the like all the dead bodies and stuff. He says,
Yeah.
he said, what a bunch of you probably understand the words that he said. The most butcher word.
Oh yes.
Yeah. He says that as he's looking around, and that's where it ends. So
We
he's
should throw a
investigating the
nuke at him.
woods. He's investigating the school in the woods, and that
Right.
weaves into whatever's going to happen in season 4. But that was the end of Gen V season 1.
Good series.
Let's talk about rating episode 8.
Yeah, finale was probably the best episode, which it should be. It's the finale.
I'd probably
Uh,
give it, thinking back on it though, I'd probably give it a 9.5. I'd probably do that because it's not like
oh
a
my
10,
God.
but it's like a 9.5.
It is. I agree with you. What an ending though, with them like leaving off on somewhat of a cliffhanger.
Yeah,
So, but
but we don't, and we won't
my
know what
question
happened. We
is,
won't know what
what
happens with
are they going to
Andre.
do now?
Yeah, we don't know what happens with Andre now because he's in there with them. But
Yeah,
if his actor's dead, are they going to recast? They're going to write him out
I guess they could just say.
because
I
they
mean, I
never
guess
even
they could
started
open it
filming.
up.
So
I guess they could open it up with like they're going to kill them, maybe, and they take out Andre. But I don't know if that would.
I don't know. I feel like a recast might happen since it's only been one season, but I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. Who knows? Who knows? It's At the same time, I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do. I mean, I hope as long as the family's cool with it. That's all. That's all that really matters in the end.
Yeah.
Um,
I just
yeah,
noticed that you can see like my
I'm pretty
curtains.
interested because it leaves off on such like an interesting way to go. Like, yeah, they're in there with them, and now the actor's dead. It's like, what do we do? But that's not the point, right?
Yeah.
But that was good. I definitely agree. 9.5. It got me excited for season 4 of the boys more, and it got me to love this spinoff series, which I'm excited for season 2. See where that
Yeah.
goes.
Yeah, so season 4 drops June 13th, 3 episode launch. Um, could get pushed up further depending because I know it's done, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Um, so I think that'll be a thing that we won't do an extra beef on. It'll more like well, might do an extra beef for the first 3, but then following that was my dog, if anyone heard that. Following that, just like on the normal episode, one a week. Um, but yeah, I guess we rate the entire series. What would you rate Gen V out of 10?
The whole series,
Season
I
one.
mean, it's a solid 8.5, 8 maybe.
I'll probably go with
It's
an 8.
which is great, great show. Go check it out.
Yeah. Very
I was
good.
definitely surprised with it of how much I would enjoy it.
Yeah. I'm excited to see what all they do with season 4, but I guess with that, we call it there for the review. Definitely watch that post-credit scene
Oh, well, I'll
if
check it out.
you need to see it. Because it does
You
make
told
you
me like
laugh.
5 times now, and I'll be like, oh yeah, I'll watch it. I completely forgot about it.
It was
That's all.
each episode. Technically, each episode had a post-credit scene, but it was more like a little like thing that wasn't important.
Little throwaway thing, yeah.
Yeah. Um, but with that though, we're gonna go ahead and get ready to get out of here. So thank you all so much for joining us for this review. Extra beef is gonna take a bit of a break for a minute. It'll be back.
Yeah.
There'll be a couple here and there, but um, a week from well, it was a week from this past Wednesday. So
20, 24. So
the
this comes
24th.
out.
I mean, today it comes out the day like Friday, so the day they're in this.
So this comes out the 19th. I'm sorry, I'm looking at the calendar right now. So yeah, next week we start X-Men.
Yeah. X-Men Mayhem. Prepare for the mayhem. We're gonna be reviewing all I don't even have the list of movies, but I'm just gonna like I don't think we wrote it.
X-Men 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah. First
Origins
Class.
Wolverine. First
Oh yeah.
Class. Apocalypse.
Days
Days
of
of
Future
Future
Past.
Past. Logan.
Dark Phoenix, right?
Dark
And
Phoenix.
Deadpool 1 and 2. And I think New Mutants, and that's it.
New Mutants. And
But I think we changed it up so we could end with Deadpool 2
Yeah, we kind of
or
yeah,
Logan
we're
or
gonna do it
Logan. I don't
mostly
remember.
in release order,
Didn't
and
we
then
write it?
Deadpool 2. What?
Didn't we write it back there?
No, we just wrote X-Men
No, like switch it.
rewatch, and we just went through it. So yeah,
Oh,
all next month of May
okay. I gotta write that list down.
and June,
And then right leads up to Deadpool in July.
and when does Deadpool come out in July?
July 26th.
Yeah, so we end off 24th, the last
Yeah. Yeah, it should be like that. But yeah,
one. Yeah, but
so that is
we
something
want
to
to
look.
release each. What do you think? What the trailer will be, or like our intro will be released?
Well, I'm not know if we'll release the intro. They'll see it on the first episode.
Was it first? Okay, I didn't know. Okay, I thought at one point you said you wanted to
I'm
show.
not gonna like reveal it. But that's we're gonna have a special little intro, new music, all that stuff. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Should be kind of like the Spider-Verse series for anyone who was around when we reviewed that for No Way Home. But yeah, that's something to look forward to next week. In the meantime, we're doing streams. I'll be back shortly with more Sly 2. Landon will
I
be
need to.
back next year with more Final Fantasy 7 remake.
I dude, that last boss man pissed me off so bad.
But then you
To
have a funny
actually
story.
be off screen, which
Yeah.
I'll go into next stream. I meant on streaming today, but I didn't get home till like 7, 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
So I was just like, screw it, and I'm gonna record in 2 hours, and I want to record longer, or I want to stream longer than that.
My
I should be
dog is
streaming
trying to
tomorrow.
push his way onto the. Okay,
I'm not.
we should probably go. So thank you all
Yeah.
so much for joining us for this episode, and we will catch you all in the next one. Bye, guys.
See ya.